Hi, I'm Dr. Lili, and today we're going to talk about cough.
When the doctor says my child has a condition, I'll learn more at my pocket pediatrician.
So cough is one of the things that parents find the most annoying. We see kids coming in all hours of the night because they've been coughing for hours or days or weeks, and their parents just can't take it anymore, and they decide to come to the ER at 2 a.m. and say, fix this child. They've been coughing for this long, and you need to do something about it. And so what the parent isn't understanding is the cough is what the child's body is doing to fight that illness, and it's actually healing them in a way. So when you get fluid in your respiratory tract, whether it's in the lungs or the bronchi or the bronchioles or wherever it is, the only way to get it out is to cough. So your cough is kind of your body's natural reflex that brings that mucus up and gets it out of your system. Either you spit it out or you swallow it back down into your digestive tract, but you're doing something to get that mucus out. If you didn't have the ability to cough and you lost that reflex, then as that fluid continued to build up, you would probably drown as the fluid would overtake your respiratory tract. So cough is actually very protective, and it is keeping you alive. You know, I had a bad cough earlier this winter, and my husband was really annoyed by my coughing all night, and I said, well, would you rather me drown or would you rather me cough? And he kind of said he'd rather me cough, but I don't know if he had to think about it a little too long. Anyway, coughing is actually good for you because it's getting that mucus out. The second thing they say is, well, I don't really care about that. I just want a medicine to make the cough stop. Can you give me something? So there are a lot of over-the-counter cough and cold medicines out there, but I don't recommend any of them. So the American Academy of Pediatrics does not recommend any cough or cold medicines, and there's a really good reason for that. One is they actually prolong your illness. So if you're taking a medicine to make your cough stop, all that mucus and all that stuff is going to be in there longer, and it's going to make you sicker longer if you're not coughing, because cough is actually part of a healing process. Second, some of those medicines work by drying out your secretions, and so then all that mucus and boogers and whatever else it is just kind of dried out and stuck down in there, so it's going to be even harder to get it out. Or the way they work is that they suppress your cough reflex. And so when you feel that mucus and that stuff there and you need to get it out, you can't, because you don't have that feeling of the reflex of wanting to cough it out. And so the stuff sits there and builds up and gets worse infected. So something that might be a simple virus can develop into a bacterial infection that would require antibiotics later. So there's a lot of reasons why you don't want to use those medicines. The biggest reason is because they can also be dangerous. Some of them have sedative effects. So a lot of times when your child is sick, you can get the dose wrong, and there have been some children who have been overdosed on cough medicines and they've died from it. So it can actually be pretty dangerous. So we don't recommend any of it because there's no benefit to it, and it actually has some pretty dangerous side effects. What we do recommend is anything you can do to promote the healing process. So drinking lots of water helps because the water makes your mucus more fluid and it makes it easy to get out. Rest always helps. And then blowing your nose frequently, or if it's a baby, suctioning your nose is important. So if you can get your kid to blow your nose, that's great. Every time I'm working, even with my own kids, when kids have boogers in their nose, they don't blow them out. They suck them in. They make this awful kind of noise, and they're constantly sucking their boogers in. Sometimes when they do that, they're swallowing them. They go in the digestive tract, and there's no big deal there. But other times, it kind of goes down the respiratory tract, and then they're going to just have to cough that stuff up later. I'll hand a kid a tissue and say, here, blow your nose. And instead of blowing their nose, I still hear them doing that nasty sound. So get your kids to blow your nose. If you have a baby, you're going to need to suction out their nose for them. So you can use those green or blue bulb syringes they gave you in the hospital to do that, but if you do, make sure you're cleaning them well. They can build up mold in them, so anytime you wash them, make sure they're getting completely dried out, or you just use a new one every time. You can buy them online. They sell them on Amazon and other places. Or you can get one of the things like the Nose Frida or one of those type of things where you're actually using your mouth to suck it out, and there's a filter so nothing's going in your mouth, but that has parts that you can take apart and wash everything. So you can use one of those, but whatever you're doing, just get the boogers out. It's so much easier to get it out of the nose than it is from having to get it out of the lower respiratory tract and cough it up. The one thing that we do recommend is honey. So honey is a great natural cough suppressant because what it does is if you just take a straight teaspoon of honey, don't put it in tea or mix it with any liquids, but just nice thick honey on a spoon, it will actually coat the throat and reduce that irritation and reduce that urge to cough. But if you have actual mucus or something there that you need to get up, you still have your cough reflex intact. You're able to just cough it up, but it gets rid of the cough that's just from the irritation of constant coughing. So honey on a spoon is a great resource. Never give it to babies under 1, and I have another video about that. But honey on a spoon is wonderful for kids. Tastes good, they like it. The only side effect is the sugar, so have them brush their teeth afterwards. But just a teaspoon of honey will actually make the cough better and help promote healing as well. The next question I get is, well, can't I get an antibiotic? So most of the time, a cough is going to be caused from a viral upper respiratory infection. I have another video about why antibiotics don't work for viruses, so check that one out as well. But if you have a viral infection, treating it with an antibiotic is not going to work. So just something else to keep in the back of your mind, that really just lots of fluids, lots of rest. You can do teaspoons of honey, and those kind of things should help your child's cold get better and reduce that cough. There can be other causes of cough. So there's something called cough variant asthma that has a chronic dry cough. There can be cough that's from exposure to smoke or to pets or to other things that are allergic type coughs. So talk to your doctor about what you think is going on with your child, but this was just kind of meant to help people who have a child who has a cold, a viral upper respiratory infection that is causing them to cough. I hope this was helpful. Please feel free to subscribe below so that you get more notifications whenever I post a new video. And ask questions, comment, tell me what worked for your child's cough and what didn't. I hope to see you soon. This is Dr. Lili with My Pocket Pediatrician. Thanks for stopping by.
When the doctor says my child has a condition, I'll learn more at My Pocket Pediatrician.